I am Nabhanita Saha, Assistant Professor in Department of Planning and Architecture, National Institute of Technology, Rourkela, India. And I will be making a presentation on a preliminary study on Mizoram's transition as India's gateway to the Southeast Asia, challenges and opportunities. That is, looking at Mizoram's development through the lens of sustainable tourism. The presentation is divided into 4 sections: Introduction, Civil Societies of Mizoram, Analysis, and Conclusion. As per the latest report on tourism from United Nations World Tourism Organization, in 2022, foreign arrivals accounted for roughly 66% of pre-pandemic levels, which in the first 6 months of 2023 rose to 84%. This shows a steady growth in tourism, particularly in international tourism in the post-pandemic scenario. Asia Pacific region has seen substantial increase in tourist arrival. Mizoram, a northeastern state of India, has also seen the increase in tourist arrival for domestic and foreign tourists in the year 2022-2023. This number stood at 218,000 domestic and 3,500 international tourists. Mizoram, with its diverse and pristine landscape, adventure tourism, and vibrant cultural tapestry, has been a magnet to tourists. Simultaneously, India's Act East policy aims to promote economic cooperation, cultural ties, and develop strategic relationship with countries in the Indo-Pacific region through continuous engagement at bilateral, regional, and multilateral levels. For example, the Kaladan Multimodal Project, launched under the Act East policy, targets at connecting Myanmar's Sitwe port to India's Kolkata port and Longklai district in Mizoram, India to Paletwa in Myanmar through road. Another proposal for trilateral highway between 3 countries, India, Myanmar, Thailand, was proposed in 2002 in Yangon during a ministerial meeting. These policies and proposals reinforce the opportunities of Mizoram to be a thriving tourist destination, thereby making sustainable tourism an indispensable part of Mizoram's development. Sustainable tourism finds its opportunities in UN Sustainable Development Goal agendas number 8, number 12, and number 14. These altogether defines the requirement of carefully utilizing natural resources, encouraging conservation, creating livelihood for local communities, while also promoting intangible and tangible heritage, and these aspects are encompassed by the sustainable practices at local level for economic, environmental, and social development. Alternative types of tourism like rural and ecotourism, which are subheads under sustainable tourism, have significant role in economic development of the area they are located in. These causes a multiplier effect in boosting local economy. Mizoram is a small bordering state in the eastern part of northeast region of India and falls under the lower Himalayan range. It is located between Myanmar and Bangladesh in the east, south, and west, thus sharing 2 international borders. The people of Mizoram are also called Mizos. The main occupation of Mizoram is agriculture. It has the second highest literacy rate, that is 91.33% in India. Most of the people in Mizoram can speak English. It has many attractive and inviting tourist locations. The village called Reek has been awarded Best Tourism Village 2023 in Gold category by Ministry of Tourism India. There are about 53 protected monuments and sites in Mizoram, 11 wildlife sanctuaries, and very diverse landscapes in different districts to be promoted for various adventure sports. After the B20 conference of India's G20 summit, the Mizoram tourism envisioned to become the safest and sustainable tourist location in the country. Promoting local tourism and empowering local communities were emphasized in G20 summit, apart from harnessing technology in tourism and development of infrastructure. Since civil societies play an important role in development of sustainable tourism, civil societies of Mizoram are poised to be in the center of its development. Strong community bonds and presence of civil society organizations as resource mobilizing component has been an important asset in the development of Mizoram. The many civil societies and their effectiveness have been related with the traditional concept of Twangina, explained as in service of others, Hatlang means self help, and Zolba, which indicate a place for gathering and teaching youth. There are several civil groups which work towards the development of Mizoram, like the Young Mizo Association, also known as YMA, is one such civil society which accounts for the cohesiveness of Mizo groups. The civil societies have been able to successfully achieve several milestones in developmental activities like provision of local level infrastructure services, basic hygiene, controlled drug abuse, prevention containment of COVID 19, and many others. The YMA has also been effective in achieving public participation, often associated with the presence of social capital in important developmental issues. Taking excerpts from the book Social Capital by J. Field, social capital often include features like networking between people and households, norms of society, value systems, and trust amongst the group that enable participants to act together more effectively to pursue shared objective. This strength of YMA in public participation is an asset to be directed towards sustainable tourism component, and this local cultural heritage can be brought in the consideration for sustainable developmental activities. Civil societies advocates helps in policy analysis, build social capital, enable people to articulate their values and belief system, participate in public affairs, and speak for marginalized section of the society. This study is based on primary survey of two villages in Mizoram, which implemented sustainable tourism concepts. The select indicators have been assessed through focus group discussion and unstructured interviews. The challenges and opportunities will be assessed for the civil societies working in this state. We start this section by introducing the two case studies. The first one is Ilong Village. It has an ecotourism society which is AVED that is Ilong Village Ecotourism Development Society, formed in 2017. And this initiative received funding for two-phase development of the village in terms of ecotourism. In the first phase, a memorial, a tourist cafe, cable bridge, etc. were made, and the second phase was for training of AVED SOC members and renovating of existing buildings. The society consists of 30 members, of which 5 are elected office bearers and rest are members of various civil society organizations of Mizoram, such as MHEP, MUP, and other active members of the village. The site has been developed under this initiative, is used for tent hiking, and the tents and basic toilets are provided at the site. Water is brought by the society as there is no formal connection of water on the site. The cleaning of the site is done through the volunteers from society from time to time. The trekking route is also managed by this group. The funds are raised by the fees they receive from site for hiking. The objectives are to promote tourist attractions in Ilong, protect wildlife and forests in Ilong, and provide employment opportunities to Ilong villagers through ecotourism. The second village is Ri, which is one of the highest peaks near Aizawl city and one of the most famous tourist locations. Ri has one tourist resort under tourism department, but part of the premises has entry to a trekking route, children's park, community hall, and shooting range, etc. The premise is maintained by a civil society named Tourist Board of Rik. Also, the management of tourist resort takes place through local volunteers. Some activities are even based on annual bond of local for employment, such as taking care of tents and management of hiking site and toilets. Apart from this maintenance of cleanliness of Reek village, beautification of retaining wall on the way to trekking site, maintenance of roads are the activities of tourist board in Reek. The following table presents the major issues considered while studying these two villages. The indicators have been borrowed from the World Tourism Organization's 2004 guidebook on indicators of sustainable development for tourist destination. Local satisfaction with tourism, It has been assessed by the involvement of society members in the meetings and making tourism plan, which is quarterly and monthly in Ailong and Re. Local people benefiting from tourism activities. In Ailong, it is 50% and in Reek, it is 30%. Locals are also involved in art and craft. The ratio of tourists to locals are 4 is to 1 and 2 is to 3 in Ailong and Reek, respectively. In case of community participation in tourism, signages, meetings, annual events are the mode of advocating information to society members as well as village members. 70% to 90% population believe tourism is good for them, which motivates them to participate more in Ailong and Re respectively. To capture economic benefits from tourism, about 1,500 and 1,200 visitors stay overnight in Ailong and Reek respectively. There are no permanent job in both villages. Some roadside eating joints are full-time occupation en route to Reek. Protection of natural assets. There is no record found to assess the impact of tourism activity in both villages. There is also no visual impact seen on the site because of tourism. Economic alternatives for local is required to stop exploiting nature which are available in both the sites. 25% of population is involved in tourism activity in Ailong and 30% in Reek. Managing scarce natural resources. Water is in ample amount in Reek, but in Ailong there are 3 months of shortage of water when it is needed to be transported from streams for which they have to bear a cost of INR 300 per 1000 liters. About 85% of village population use grey water for kitchen gardens. Limiting impact of tourism. Solid waste is managed by civil societies in both villages. There is no noise or air pollution as sustainable ways of the sites have been employed. These indicators are looking into community involvement in the sustainable tourism activities in 2 study locations and is based on visit to both villages for 2 days each and unstructured interviews and focus group discussions. In both villages, the civil society group, Eco-Tourism Development Society, Tourism Board RE, and involvement of YMA, MHEP, MUP, MZP, being part of these two by default show the involvement of civil society in successive ecotourism in these 2 locations. Here we present the above results in concise form. To conclude, based on these indicators and survey of these 2 villages, the challenges faced and opportunities for these civil societies have been listed. The state shows immense potential in developing sustainable tourism practices in villages as the civil societies are in whole of the state and the state has magnificent and diverse landscape in all its 11 districts. In terms of challenges, few people speak other languages of the country, hence are not able to communicate well with the domestic tourist. But only 30% of these 2 social groups in Reek and 10% of Ailong can speak English, which is their primary language for communication in the state. However, this is actually an opportunity for foreign tourists. With regards to food, there are very few eateries which are offering more than 2 variety of food. Majority of them only serve local food, which is an issue because Mizo food is quite distinct from food found in other parts of the nation. The challenge is to develop or learn skills in terms of hospitality. While local transportation, each village is 20 to 30 kilometers from the city center. Additionally, there fails to be a local transportation alternative after arrival. The sole means of transportation is private cab, which is not very affordable. Finance, the groups have only received one-time funding. Monetary matters are managed by the fee collected from the tourist. Regular input of fund is required to maintain sustainable tourism practices. Whereas opportunities through the ministry's Yuva Tourism Club, English-speaking community members can hire and train additional young people for ecotourism related activities. The ability to generate income for tourist guides with the right training, To generate income, locals can operate eateries or stalls and receive more training in tourism and hospitality. They will have an opportunity to sell their regional handicraft with the help of ecotourism initiatives. Their expertise in bamboo architecture and craft, which they apply to vernacular building installations, can be applied to small workshops for foreign craftsmen and design students. This is a list of some of the references which have been used to develop this presentation. Here we conclude the presentation. Thank you.